Welcome to the regular meeting of City Council of the City of Vineland, Tuesday, May 10th, 2022, at 6:30 p.m.
Councilman Acosta.
Here.
Councilman Franceschini.
Here.
Councilman Spinelli. Present. Councilman Vargas is absent. President Dr. Arthur.
Here. This evening we have Dr. John H. Winslow Middle School students here. The safeties are going to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who wants to take pictures?
Oh yeah, we need the picture, yeah.
Because this will mess you up.
Go ahead. Come closer.
Come this way. Thank you very much. Great job, guys.
Public notice of this meeting open to the public pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act has been given on December 15, 2021 by the city clerk in the following manner. Posting written notice on the official bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, providing written notice to the offices of the Daily Journal and the Press of Atlantic City, and filing written notice in the office of the city clerk of the City of Vineland.
At this time, Chair entertains a motion that the 2022 minutes of the pre-conference and regular meeting of April 26th and the work session of May 3rd be approved as submitted.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion by council on this motion? None?
Councilman Acosta.
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini.
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli.
Yes.
Dr. Arthur.
Yes.
We'll open up the public comment portion of this meeting, and this provides an opportunity for the members of the public to inform the governing body about their views. The governing body prescribes the City Council's bylaws and New Jersey statutes on open public meetings when engaging during public comment. As such, each individual shall have a 5-minute limit to comment. He or she cannot yield time to another individual. He or she may only approach the podium once during public comment for any one topic. Vulgar, offensive language is prohibited, and City Council will not engage in dialogue with the public during this time. The governing body maintains model courtesy and respect and requires members of the public to do the same.
All right. And at this time, Chair entertains a motion. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard? No one? We're going to move on to ordinance.
Hello, my name is Rose Sias. I'm on Whitaker Avenue, and I'm here about the rezoning of property owned by NEP, Mr. Ruga.
Can I just interrupt for one quick second? I might save you some time. This is the public portion. If you want to discuss on the hearing, there's going to be a public hearing on that particular ordinance, and Council President will open that up specifically on that topic. You can talk on both if you want, or you can just wait till then. It's up to you.
Okay.
Did everyone understand that there will be a hearing for 2022-38 a little further down? So if you want to speak at that time, you can. Otherwise, if there's something else that you want to comment about at this time, you may come to the mic. Not, we're going to go on. Mr. Franchetta?
All right. I present ordinance number 2022-36, ordinance authorizing the hiring of police officers without the requirement for said officer to take an examination for an entry-level law enforcement position as required by civil service, provided they shall have successfully completed a full basic course for police officers training course at a school approved and authorized by the New Jersey Police Training Commission pursuant to NJSA 11A:4-1.3, which is ready for a continued public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-36 be taken up for a public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So moved. I second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on ordinance number 2022-36 at this time? No one? Chair entertains a motion that the public hearing on ordinance number 2022-36 be closed.
So moved. I second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes. Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-36 be taken up for second and final reading and adopted according to law.
So moved. I second.
Is there any discussion by council on this motion?
I just want to make a comment. I understand and I know that there have been some concerns from the public with respect to this ordinance. I work for the state in a quasi-judicial agency as well as a law enforcement agency as a civilian in an administrative position, and I know the difficulties with respect to the list. I hope that the municipality and this ordinance written in such a way where the person who took the test is first in line and will be prioritized. But in the event that the list does not work, this will give the municipality the opportunity to select a qualified person. And let me emphasize that part of this ordinance clearly says that the person must go to a basic training for law enforcement. Past that, they go through a probationary period before they become an officer. This is not an ordinance that is meant to become a patronized or nepotism type thing. This is for the betterment of the municipality and to recognize that the current civil service system has some faults. Other municipalities have dealt with this, and for that reason, in this manner, for that reason, I am going to vote in favor of this.
Thank you, Councilman Acosta. Anyone else? Anything else?
Yes, Madam President. I reiterate what my colleague has said, and also in researching, talking to the safety director, talking to many of the police in an informal fashion, not as a councilman, but on a golf course. And they were playing golf, and we talked about the issue and how they felt. And they felt that we are down police, tough to get officers, and they want to fill slots with qualified people, which the councilman said they have to pass a state requirement academy, and go through the emotional stress and the physical stress and all the other things that come with it before they would be considered. And the fact that the test is not being thrown out, we still will be looking at the test and considering those people as well, first probably as a priority, because that has been the norm. And with all that being said, our officers want backup. They don't want to be down people on the street. And they're the ones that every day are protecting us. And I think we have to take that into consideration as well, and I will be supporting this as well.
Thank you. Anything else? Better?
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Francischini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-36, ordinance authorizing the hiring of police officers without the requirement for said officer to take an examination for an entry-level law enforcement position as required by civil service, provided they shall have successfully completed a full basic course for police officers training course at a school approved and authorized by the New Jersey Police Training Commission pursuant to NJSA 11A:4-1.3, with a vote of 4 yeas, is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2022-36 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam President, I present ordinance number 2022-38, ordinance adopting the findings and conclusions of Resolution 6499 of the Planning Board of the City of Vineland to amend Ordinance 86-38 as amended, Chapter 425 of the Code of the City of Vineland entitled Land Use so as to rezone Block 7503, Lot 1.01, part of Lot 3.01, part of Lot 4.01, part of Lot 5.01, Lot 6, Lot 6.01, part of Lot 7, Lot 35.02, Lot 47, and Lot 48.01 to IB Industrial Business, and to rezone part of Block 7503, Lot 19.01 to A5 Agricultural, and adopt a zone map change, which is ready for a continued public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-38 be taken up for a public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
I second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Francischini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes. And at this time, I would ask that the public wait, but we will first have Mr. Freilinger come and speak on behalf of the proponents.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, members of council. I appreciate the time you're giving me here this evening. For the record, my name is Michael Freilinger. I'm an attorney with Capizzola, Pencari, Lapham, and Freilinger here in Vineland, and I am here on behalf of NEP Real Estate of Vineland NJ Urban Renewal LLC. We are the ones that made the request, the initial request for rezoning of the properties that were mentioned. Up on the screen right now for everyone to see, that's the original request for the zone change that was being made. If you take a look at what is the pink area that's there, that's the existing IB zone in that area of Vineland. The purple area is the existing I3 zone. As I'm sure council members are aware, many of you were here at that time. I don't believe all of you were. Back in about 2015 is when this particular rezoning started out in this area. At that time, the city determined, and well, they knew all along, but they determined that they needed more space for industrial development. Route 55 is what's known as a limited access highway under the state management code, and that means exactly what it says. It's limited access. According to the state, you can only have so many accesses onto Route 55, and you have to meet a very hard criteria. Vineland was lucky enough, because of its size, to get, I believe, 4. You have this interchange here, you have the Sherman Avenue interchange, you have Landis Avenue, and you have Garden Road. Sherman Avenue is where the hospital is. The Landis Avenue is the gateway into the city, coming over the bridge from Vineland, so to speak. Then you have Garden Road, and you have the Lincoln Avenue access. Those accesses, those interchange, are the areas where municipalities want industrial development to occur. It's easy to move goods without necessarily impacting, to a great extent, residential in those areas. You can get them to the limited access highway, and you can get them to the ports, whether it's New Jersey ports, whether it's the Philadelphia ports, wherever. That's what 55 was intended for when they put it in back in 1988, I think it was. And that's the purpose that it serves. In Vineland, with Sherman Avenue taken up by the hospital area, it's not an industrial area, the hospital, the school is there. Landis Avenue being the main gateway on the interchange itself, it's not an industrial area. You do have Mill Road, which has come into play off of there, which also feeds into Garden. And that's where the industrial park lies, between the Landis Avenue and the Garden Road interchanges. So this was the last area left. So back in 2015, the city, in partnership with the county as well as the Cumberland County Improvement Authority, decided this was an area fit for industrial development. At that time, they commissioned the planning board for a study as to whether or not this particular property on this side of Lincoln Avenue was ripe for redevelopment purposes. I don't know if the board members will recall, but this area out here was a former sand mining operation. It had been defunct for many years. So the property had huge changes in grade, huge undulations, 100 feet and 100, or more than 100 feet in some areas. So the city found that it was ripe for redevelopment, and a redevelopment designation was made at that particular point in time. The city and the CCIA bought the property and went through a redevelopment process on it. Redevelopment plan was put in place for the property. My client, NEP, got involved in 2018 and basically took a chance on the property in purchasing the property, because the property needed substantial renovation. It had to be what we call in the sand mining world reclaimed, meaning that it had to be leveled. And in order to do that, you're filling 100 feet gullies and you're knocking down 100 feet mountains, so to speak. So there's a lot of earth movement that has to go into it to reclaim a mining operation. That has happened. My client was successful in doing it. The I-3 zone that's showing up there right now is the site of Northeast Precast. Northeast Precast moved their operations from Millville to Vineland based upon this, and I can, thankfully report to the city that it has worked. Northeast employs over 500 individuals for the city of Vineland, for that area. So it's been a very good thing. Throughout that process and that partnership with the city and the county and the CCIA, there was the extension of Burns Avenue that went through, and all of that was planned by the city, and the reason for that was to direct truck traffic, to get it down Burns Avenue to Main Road, do the intersection at Main to get it to 55, to stop truck traffic from traveling through the city, which had to happen before that. They had to at least go down to Sherman Avenue and make the left on Sherman, just because of the turning movements for the trucks. So that has been done, and that's all been accomplished. And like I said, it was done through the partnership of those entities as well as my client. At the time that the redevelopment was taking place, there was always an intent by the city to basically maximize the industrial area that is in that particular area. If you take a look at it from the screen that you see where the pink is, you see across Lincoln Avenue, there was always an intent to have more of that particular area zoned IB. So the request that was made by me to the city was to rezone the lots that front along Sheridan Avenue. And that was done in consultation not only with my client, but with another landowner in that particular area. After that was done, we started receiving phone calls. And one of the phone calls that we received was from the mayor's office, that the mayor's office was receiving phone calls about from neighbors who had concerns and objections to the matter. And the mayor asked that we attempt to rectify that. And the mayor's office put me in touch with the city planner, Kathleen Hicks, who's here this evening, as well as the city solicitor, Rick Tanetta, to start working on something that would be better than what had been submitted to this council. And I do want to thank the mayor and the mayor's office. I want to thank Ms. Hicks and Mr. Tanetta for their time that they've spent on this. So what you're seeing is the original plan that was submitted, and that is the subject matter of the ordinance that's on this evening. However, we do have a revised plan that I would like to show, and I'm going to ask that the ordinance be amended, and in this case, I guess it's going to have to be voted down, and then a new ordinance be taken up with the amended plan. And obviously, I want all the members of the neighborhood to see it, because your concerns have been taken into consideration. And I think we've come up with something that'll be a benefit to the area, and I don't think the neighbors will have too much of an issue with. Mr. Reed, can you show the amended plan?
If I can just interrupt for one quick second, I do want to address, Mr. Went is here tonight. He's an attorney, and he also has been working with council with regards to some of the objections that were being made by some of the residents. So he's here tonight. He will also be speaking, but I wanted to thank him for being involved in this as well.
If you noticed on the original plan that was submitted, the area that was surrounded in light blue was the area that the zone request was for. This particular map is that same map, but you're going to see different colors up there. The areas that are surrounded in blue are still areas that we're going to request to be IB zoning. And out along Lincoln Avenue, it's lot 1.1, which is on the corner of Lincoln and Sheridan. That's the property, that's the former home of R.T. Castellini, I believe South Jersey Industries. It's been used for industrial business purposes for longer than I can remember. And it's still being used for industrial business purposes. There's a contractor's yard that's currently on it. So we would request that area be zoned IB, as well as fill in the gap, so to speak, with lots 47 and 48.1. That will basically square off the IB in that area, as well as the other side of Lincoln Avenue. Lots 3.1, 4.1, and 5.1, which you see right along Sheridan Avenue, they're being removed from the request, and we're requesting that they remain zoned as currently zoned. 3.1 is zoned R6, 4.1, 5.1 are zoned agricultural. When you get down to lot 6.1, all of 6.1 was included in the original request. We're requesting the front of it remain agricultural and the back of it be zoned IB, almost to square off that oddly shaped end to the IB that's there. The next lot over, lot 6, that was all in the request for the IB zone. We're removing that in its entirety. We're asking that that remain A5. And the jogged portion of lot 7, in the original request, the back of lot 7, that touches upon W5, was also in the request to be zoned IB. We're requesting that that also be taken out and remain agricultural. The W5 zone that you see in the back there, that's lot 35.02. That's currently split lot zone between W5 and A5. The original request that was submitted requested that that also be made IB. That was the intent of the original redevelopment plan. However, from hearing from the neighbors, we're going to leave that as is as well. We're going to remove that request. So the IB that you see up there, the depth of IB and its closeness to Hansbridge Road, that will remain. And lot 35.02, we're requesting it be left alone. It'll remain split lot zone between W5 and A5. And if you take a look at the lower left-hand corner of the map that's up there, What that does is the original request for change to IB zoning was approximately 100 acres. It was a little shy of that, about 99.8 or something like that. The new request is to change 14 and a half acres. And those 14 and a half acres are impacted by South Lincoln Avenue, as well as Lot 6.1 to the rear of it. That's removing from the request about 85 and a half acres, which will remain zoned as they currently are between R6, A5, and W5. So that's the new request that's before the board. Again, we've been able to review this with the City Planning Department, as well as Mr. Tedes's office. We think we have a workable solution. This works for the applicant in this area. We did this in consultation, like I said, with another landowner along the frontage of Sheridan. He's also been consulted on this, and he's okay with these removals as well, and leaving everything zoned as currently situated along Sheridan Avenue. That's what I have this evening. I apologize if I wasted anyone's time over this last week or so period, but it was nice the help that we received from the city staff on this in coming to a resolution like this that is workable for my client, and I believe will be workable for the surrounding neighbors as well. One of the things my client wants to do and has been is be a good neighbor, and he has been a good neighbor. I don't know if anyone knows Mr. Ruga or not, but Mr. Ruga is almost one of a kind. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. The redevelopment of that site, it was a long shot to have it done, but it's done. And Northeast Precast is thriving there, and it is just a wonderful business for the city of Vineland. Millville hated to see them go. I'll put it to you that way. That's all I have this evening, and I want to thank Madam President, members of council. If anyone has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer as much as I can.
Thank you, Mr. Freilinger. At this time, we're going to have Kathy Hicks, our city planner, come forward.
Hello, everybody. Mr. Freilinger gave a pretty accurate description of the history of the property, but I go back further than he does. Could you put that back up, please?
Way back.
The area that is shown in pink and purple, that actually has been industrially zoned far longer because of the presence of energy and minerals, the sand mining operation. So that was not changed when we did the redevelopment district. And in fact, it also included that green triangle where you see the W5. That was all previously zoned industrial. It has been for decades. Now, we did the redevelopment district, and subsequently, more recently, they have come in and requested the rezoning from City Council. And the process is, Council made a referral to the Planning Board for review. It fit in with what the Planning Board path has been. The targeting of interchanges started back with the 1986 master plan, and Garden and Maine in particular were targeted for industrial development. And Mr. Freilinger is correct that the interchanges are critical, particularly now with the evolution of e-commerce. Brick and mortar retail is dying. It's now all e-commerce, and that dictates warehouses and it dictates trucks. And proximity to interchange is critical because we don't want to locate those types of industries in our old industrial corridor along the boulevard, because then you've got trucks traversing the city. So the closer we can keep them to the interchange, the better. Additionally, we did a reexamination in 2018, and after several years of hearing complaints from our economic development staff about the need for more industrial, that was the focus of our reexamination, and we did some significant rezoning of properties for industrial. In fact, this area across the street on Lincoln was recently rezoned following our reexamination. We picked up small areas where we could, but recognizing the proximity of this property and transitioning it from what had previously been requested, a golf course, to industry, was supported by the planning board. And expanding the area, that also was supported by the planning board. Now, listening to many comments, because I've spoken to many of the objectors, the one consideration that did come forward clearly was the concern with truck traffic on Sheridan. And so that is why I believe the developer has decided to pull back that zone line to keep it away from Sheridan. Thank you very much.
Kathy, I have a question. So
Yes.
where's the golf course?
Well, the golf course had been planned, the division between the I-3 and the IB, that's the power line. And the golf course had been planned in that pink area north of the I-3, fronting on Lincoln. And that was a discussion when an amendment to the redevelopment plan came in for the golf course, because that wouldn't have been permitted in the IB zone. And it was the loss of that land for industrial purposes. Ultimately, the board did recommend the amendment for the golf course, but the thought was if there was ever sufficient demand for more industrial, a golf course is an easy property to redevelop, that it wouldn't be gone forever. But there was that discussion about losing that industrial land because it had been planned for that, and the golf course was not viewed as the highest use for that property. So replacing the golf course with industrial up at Lincoln, we were very supportive of.
So there's no golf course?
I think Mr. Freilinger can better answer that.
I can answer that.
Thank
Yes,
you.
there's a golf course that's still planned. It's planned in the area behind the pink area. The W5 and the A5 zoned areas that are back there that are also encapsulated in this area, that's where the golf course is being planned.
Great, thank you.
And it's already in process or not?
It's in planning stages, in design stages.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hicks. Mr. Went will come before us now. He's here on behalf of the objectors.
Good evening, members of City Council, city professionals. My name is Ray Went. I'm an attorney and partner with the law firm of Nemad, Davis, and Goldstein. Excuse me. I'm here this evening on behalf of Victoria Farms, LLC. Owners Wayne and Valerie Gretsch are here, along with their son, Andrew Gretsch. As many of you probably also had, we had major concerns. When we first saw the plan where the zone or proposed zone industrial was being bumped out entirely onto Sheridan Avenue, excuse me, we were concerned about access, trucks, setbacks, and the like. I spoke with Mr. Freilinger today. I've been in communication with Mr. Tanetta, all of whom have responded to me promptly. And I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen an 85% reduction in a proposed ordinance and revised ordinance like this in terms of a redevelopment or a rezoning. With that, our major concerns have been alleviated, and that was Sheridan Avenue. I mean, that was first and foremost, to be sure. Obviously, and I'm glad the golf course was mentioned, we want to see the golf course as well. I spoke with Mr. Freilinger today about that, and he tells me that I guess they're 6 months out from a potential final design site plan, which we're all looking forward to see. I was coming in ready to battle tonight, and your city professionals and Mr. Freilinger did the right thing and worked with everybody to put together a proposal here that my client does not object to. And that's why I'm here. I understand that you're going to vote down the existing proposed ordinance as drafted, introduce the new one, and then have another public hearing in 2 weeks. I hope I don't have to come back. I love Vineland, but I like Atlantic City a little bit better. So with that, though, really, thank you very much. Y'all did the right thing here. If there are any questions from my perspective, I'm here, so is my client, but that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wendt. At this time, if there's anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance, now is the time.
I'm just happy that Wayne's happy. It's very important. We don't want him angry. Someone tripped Paul. We got 4 lawyers here.
Thank you. Paul Trivellini, 1598 Sheridan Avenue. I was here for the work session last week, and it seems that many of our concerns have been alleviated by this adjustment. I am hoping and praying that Mr. Ruga really is trying hard to be a good neighbor, and I would hope very much that he understands that the piece that's still remaining on the corner of Lincoln and Sheridan, the 3 parcels, previously were designated as R6. Now, that's high-level residential transitional. Okay, what I would hope is as he thinks about that development and those 3 parcels, that he gets great consideration to the residential properties around it. Please design it in such a way that it's not obtuse to the residents who live there across the street. And indeed, this may change someplace 40 years down the road, but right now, consideration for the local residents would be try to make it look pretty on the corner, conforming with the transition to the residences around it. Other than that, thank you for your time very much. It's very much appreciated. I don't have to go through my 4-page spiel, and I wish everyone well with this.
Thank you, Dr. Trevellini. Anyone else?
Good evening. Again, my name is Rose Sias. I'm at 1239 Whitaker Avenue. Our property is on the south border of NEP's property. And we're happy to hear that you've made a lot of changes. That helps us a lot to understand what's going on now with the properties. There's still a lot of major concern with our neighbors, which is not being brought up tonight. Excuse me. And we want to know if we probably will not be notified of the further changes that are going to take place with the rest of the property that Mr. Ruga has purchased. I know he has over 500 acres that he purchased, all within Sheridan and Hansbridge Road, all in that location. And a lot of it is across the street on Hansbridge Road. So I don't know if I should mention this or not, but it came from someone tonight, a farmer who sold his property to Ruga, and he said that all of that across the street is also going to be a golf course. So that means there's going to be major changes in the area, again, traffic. And so we are going to want to know what is going to be taking place and how we can find out more information. I guess we just have to keep track of when it's listed on your bulletin board, so we'll know when the next meetings will be. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Sias. Anyone else?
My name is Gloria Castellini. I live at 3814 South Lincoln Avenue. I have lived in my home for 55 years. I am on the corner of Lincoln and Sheridan. I will be affected by those 3 lots that remain. I came prepared with 2 pages, but I don't need to address all that because most of the concerns have been addressed. I guess what I would like to know, or I would like to have some assurances as to what is going to go up on that corner. Yes, it was a business. It was our family business. It was not a large business. It was a contracting company, and they worked normal hours, and there was no 24/7 operation, and there was no offending lights or traffic or noise coming from that area. So I live directly across the street from it, and I'd like to know how this affects the value of my house and the surrounding area also. If Mr. Ruga would like to be a good neighbor, maybe he would like to address that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Castellini. Anyone else? Nothing further? Oh, all right.
My name's Steve Brown. I'm on Country Bridge Road. And I kind of just like a little clarification of what the W5 on the other side of the Rolling Hills Estates area is going to be. Is that where the proposed golf course is? And also the A5 zone that runs from parallel to Hansbridge, and then the farm area along Sheridan there also. Is that going to remain farmland, or is that all going to be golf course, or is it just the little triangular W5 zone? If you could, I'm asking if that could be clarified.
As far as across the street on Hansbridge, there's no final plan yet as to what that's going to be used for. On the northerly side of Hansbridge, yeah, that area that's owned by NEP would be utilized for the golf course development. Well, NEP doesn't own all the way out to Sheridan. There's other farms that are there, so it'd be behind that. Lot 35.02 is where NEP owns to, and that's the one that's circled in purple. And they don't own all the way down to, they don't own all the way down Hansbridge to that corner there either, to Whitaker.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Pino. I grew up in Vineland, lived on Country Bridge Road with my parents growing up. I got married, moved away. We work in this, my husband and I both work in Philly. So we lived in Swedesboro for a while, but ultimately chose to move back to this area in the same neighborhood that I grew up in, except on Stony Bridge Road. Raising our family there, and we love the area, but we moved for the rural, surrounded by farms. It's quiet. It's the full neighborhood feel. Understand that that's a business area and develop that way. We know that Northeast Precast is there, but I heard rumors of a warehouse and things like that. We both commute to Philly. We take 55. We're fully aware of that in the trucks. But the more it's developed, the more and less consideration given. I understand that Sheridan has been resolved a bit, but I would just ask that consideration to you want young people. You know, I came back to the city. We have good jobs, ready to raise our family. You will lose that. And I know there's other people that have also moved, that I graduated in with, moved into the neighborhood as well, and are ready to raise their family. We did that for a reason, and make sure that that doesn't go away. That's all. Thank
What was your name again?
you. Cynthia Pino.
Thank you.
Erickson previously. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Freeman, and I live in the midsection of Sheridan Avenue, 708. My question is, with regard to traffic, what exit are these trucks going to use? Because if they're going to use exit 26, it is going to be a madhouse. There is no light control for people going into and out of Millville. That's number one. Number two, to go and use exit 27, It is right there where the Walmart and the shopping centers are. That's a disaster. Then we have exit 29, the hospital, going into Delsey Drive. If they use that exit, they have the option of turning right onto Delsey Drive, left onto Butler, going through a residential area, down to Main Road, or down to Lincoln, making a right. They also have the option of turning right on Main Road and then taking another shortcut to Sheridan Avenue, the section that I live on. I don't think that you would want to live on that section of Sheridan Avenue having tractor trailers go through your neighborhood every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, especially because we have small children in that area. So tell me and tell the rest of us here how this is going to be handled. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can respond to what. I can respond to one thing. Burns Avenue was extended with anticipation that trucks would utilize it to get to the main road interchange, and that interchange is scheduled by DOT to be signalized. It is on their work program. I believe it's scheduled for next year.
Thank you, Kathy. Anyone else?
Lucy Brandt, 4800 Covered Bridge Road. I would like to mention the elephant in the room, which is the Amazon warehouse that no one is mentioning this evening. I want to know if that's gone away as an idea to put a warehouse right in our midst. On Covered Bridge Road, we try to take walks at night, and the speeding cars place us in danger already. We don't mind the farm tractors and that kind of thing, because we bought into that when we lived on that road. But I fear for our children. I fear for our neighbors walking on the street, just walking their dogs. Because of the increased traffic already, Covered Bridge Road is used extensively. It's a route between Lincoln and Mays Landing Road, and I don't know with the intensity of this development what effect it's going to have, and I want someone to address the elephant in the room, which is that we've heard that an Amazon warehouse is going to be built somewhere on this property.
Mr. Tanetta? I'm sorry? Did you want to address?
To that question, whatever is permitted in the IB zone, as it presently is zoned, whether, I'm not even sure if a warehouse is permitted there, but whatever is legally permitted there, could have been built 10 years ago and can be built today. I don't know what that is. In fact, Dr. Trivellini did in fact list all the possible uses. I don't know what they are. I can't tell you whether it's a warehouse. Right now, the developer, and has been for a decade, able to use the IB zone for whatever purpose is permitted. Nothing really is changing in terms of that with this application.
I'd like you to make sure that the council people of Vineland do a safety check on Covered Bridge Road because of whatever increased traffic is going to take place. I don't want to see anybody hurt.
Any development application would have to address
About
that.
safety.
Thank you, Mr. Tanetta.
My name is Carol Erickson. I live. My name is Carol Erickson. I live 1677.
Can't hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Better?
That's it.
I'm sure. My name is Carol Erickson. I live 1677 Country Bridge Road. When we originally bought our property about 37 years ago, we basically walked from Hansbridge Road with a measuring wheel because there was no road from Hansbridge Road into our development. So I wasn't exactly thinking it was going to turn into a commercial zone. We walked 500, 600 feet, said, oh, let's make a left. Just walk a few more 100 feet. Okay, this is our lot, this woods. Thinking 37 years later, it is so quiet in our neighborhood now. I can hear when Millville's racetrack has a race. You can't hear me? Sorry. Can you not hear me? Okay. It's so quiet in our neighborhood. We can hear the racetrack from Millville on the west end of Millville. So I would be a little concerned that our nice little quiet secluded neighborhood is not going to be our nice little quiet secluded neighborhood that I bought this lot walking through woods with no road when I originally bought it. So you have to live there and stand outside and hear how nice and quiet it is now that you can hear your neighbors talking, so you better whisper because we can hear you. And then put a warehouse or something where there's going to be a lot of traffic, a lot of noise 24 hours a day. And yes, the street that she was talking about, you do take your life in your hands because it is a shortcut from Hansbridge Road to Mays Landing Road. They drive like crazy down that road. You want to avoid that road. My daughter moved because she loved our neighborhood so much. They drive an hour to Philly. You want people, young people, to come back to Vineland? Make it appealing to them. Make them want to stay. Because if the neighborhood changes, I know they'll move. You know, you want to bring young people back. Make it appealing to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name is Richard Raimondi. I reside at 1022 Whitaker Avenue, Millville. I'm a Vineland City resident, taxpayer, and I vote. I had to revise my notes a little bit here, but this past fall I spoke to council and voiced my support for the industrial park because I felt it was the best choice overall. I have not changed my view on that. I want to know more about what's going on, much more. Regarding the proposed zoning change on Sheridan Avenue, if enacted, it would be setting a precedent because this change goes way out of bounds. Sheridan Avenue South is a mix of farmland and residential. This change will open a Pandora's box without a lid in sight. I heard from a few neighbors that Mr. Ruger was knocking on doors yesterday. A few years ago, myself and some neighbors met with him at City Hall. It was a good meeting. I also stopped by Tom Pontano's office last week. I have a little piece of farmland off Hansbridge Road, and he assured me he would continue farming. I believe him. Family farms have been disappearing for quite some time. So what of the other farmers who may want to make a change in zoning? Word gets around here real quick. In closing, I want to extend an invite to Mr. Ruga to knock on my door and we can talk some. This is what we need to do. Talk to one another in an open and above board manner. I thank council for their time, consideration, and dedication. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I think we're closed, we're done.
Okay, I'll talk anyway. I'm used to it. Steve Lewis, Vineland, New Jersey. I live on Brandywine Drive, Lincoln Avenue and Main Road. Seem to be pretty busy, certain times of the day, right? That we can say. The property that we're showing in pink, that's a big piece of property. I don't see any roads that are marked as exits or entrances to the establishment. I know they have a way out. I've seen them come out by the other side of the electric company. But once you start building that area up with other businesses, how are they going to get in and how are they going to get out? That's the big question. I look towards the future. So we got one small piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of ground there to build on. That's the other piece of the puzzle. What's going to happen in the future? Even like Burns Avenue, that light was put up there for a reason. Now we see what the reason is, right? That sort of works out pretty good. But how do we know that the traffic isn't going to come from Hamilton down Lincoln Avenue? We don't know that. How do we know that there's not going to be traffic coming from Main Road down there? We don't know that. We don't know how many tractor trailers or other type vehicles are going to come up and down. Once people start working in these areas, we don't know how many people are going to be employed. We all want to see people employed, you know, tax dollars and all that, right? But we don't know. So the unknown, to me, is a big thing. In time, this council, you members won't even be here. It'll be a different group maybe. We don't know. So anyway, this is something that's coming up, and it really concerns me because of traffic. You know, there's no exit from I-3 on the 55, right? And there probably never will be. So if we're going to have an industrial zone, maybe we should have an exit directly from 55 into the industrial zone before we do anything. We should get to the state, get it approved, have it made. Then you start developing the industrial zone. We'll know that the traffic is being settled, mostly, maybe. And it'll be easier for everybody maybe to accept it. You know, there's 2 schools by me. Of course, when the buses come out, there's a lot of traffic. It's one of them things. It's no big deal. But when you start talking tractor trailers, they make a lot of noise. And they tear the roads up, which is going to be a cost to the city or the county. So I think we should look ahead and say, all right, how are we going to get these truck drivers into this property? That's one of the most important things I think you got to figure out before you do anything. So let's start thinking ahead, and maybe you can come up with a better plan and try to figure out what's going on. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Good evening. I'm Jessica Johnston. I'm at 1922 Hansbridge Road. I want to piggyback on the traffic thing. I'm right on Hansbridge Road, and just the past couple years, I've been there about 12 years, and the traffic has picked up tremendously. I've actually requested to have patrol come out and monitor because the speeding is out of control, and we have not seen that. I have horses, we have dogs, we have the neighborhood kids walking up and down the streets, because we're a community, all my neighbors are here tonight. We have babies coming soon. It's just not safe. And with the dump trucks, I know some of the companies and the employees that are going to be doing some of the work that is doing it. I've spoke to the drivers, and they said they obviously will be taking care of the traffic and stuff. But we need to make sure it is monitored. The pulling off of Hansbridge onto Broad Street is a huge concern. You cannot see. I call the county every 2 months to get that cleared out because the vines overgrow. You can't see making a right on going into Millville. You have the traffic coming from the pit on Mays Landing Road as it is from the sand quarry. Now you're going to have dump trucks and workers, other employees trying to beat those dump trucks out of there. It's going to be a little more dangerous than what it already has. So if we can just get the patrols out there, that is the concern, is the traffic. And I'm highly grateful that everybody is working together. I would like to meet Mr. Ruga. I have not had the opportunity to. And glad that everybody's sticking together as a community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. In light of, we know we're not going to resolve this tonight, but you do know that we are voting this down, and there is going to be a reconfiguration of this ordinance. Not to cut anybody off, but I just wanted to say that. You are welcome to come back again next Tuesday. We'll continue this. Go ahead. Okay.
Dominic Carpani, Pennsylvania Avenue, Vineland, New Jersey. I've noticed over the last couple years, just like Miss Bonadonna, I know her by Bonadonna, I used to coach her, traffic has picked up tremendously on Pennsylvania Avenue. Now I understand why precast trucks have stopped going down Pennsylvania Avenue. They've hired other companies because the label was changed in the last month. I'm like, well, how come they have other names now? This is bringing dirt from that landfill to the golf course, we thought. The bottom line is, the unknown is what the problem is. Tonight, you're putting a Band-Aid on it and helping some people out, reassuring that a big industrial park isn't going to be right in their backyard. But what is the ultimate goal? That's what I want to know. We hear he's bought Custer Corral. He's offered OVT money. He has Leader Landscaping. He has the other side of OVT. What is his ultimate goal? And no golf course is that big that goes all the way from Lincoln Avenue all the way to the Elks on Mays Landing Road. That's a huge piece of property, and he's been buying up left and right. Now, bless the people who got the money from him. That's great. I'm glad for them. But what is the ultimate goal, and when will the public know what his ultimate plan is? That's all we want to know. We fear the unknown. And please, if you could relay this, we can't walk pets anymore on Pennsylvania Avenue because it's just not safe. And guess what? 4 o'clock in the morning, the trucks start rolling. Sleep with that. Thank you.
Thank you. There's nothing further.
I just want to make a comment.
Mr. Councilman Acosta?
I know we have professionals here, but I just want to put this on the record. Whenever there is potential for some project that goes before planning, am I correct by stating that part of the consideration is a traffic study? Experts come in and provide testimony as to how it will be affected and how the community will be affected?
Okay.
Mr. Costa, the way the land use ordinance is written, it's at the discretion of the city engineer, both traffic impact study and environmental impact study. It's not a given that every application requires it.
Thank you.
Further? At this time, we're closing the public input session for this ordinance, 2022-38. And Chair entertains a motion that the public hearing on ordinance number 2022-38 be closed.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes. Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-38 be taken up for second and final reading and adopted according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any comment by council at this time on this motion? Nothing further? Mr. Franchetta?
Councilman Acosta?
Nay.
Councilman Franceschini?
No.
Councilman Spinelli?
No.
Dr. Arthur?
Nay.
Ordinance number 2022-38 Ordinance adopting the findings and conclusions of Resolution 6499 of the Planning Board of the City of Vineland to amend Ordinance 86-38 as amended, Chapter 425 of the Code of the City of Vineland entitled Land Use so as to rezone Block 7503, Lot 1.01, part of Lot .3.01, part of Lot 4.01, part of Lot 5.01, Lot 6, Lot 6.01, part of Lot 7, Lot 35.02, Lot 47, and Lot 48.01 to IB Industrial Business and to rezone part of Block 7503, Lot 19.01 to A5 Agricultural and adopt a zone map change with a vote of 4 noes. This ordinance is hereby defeated.
Mr. Franchetta? That ordinance number 2022-38 has been defeated.
Yes.
Thank you.
Present ordinance number 2022-39, ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland emergency medical technician part-time, senior emergency medical technician, which is ready for a public hearing.
Can we have
Karen?
1 second? We have 1 second. Just to let the,
Mr. Franchetta, I think it was something you said.
I even showered.
This is going to take a while, so we might as well.
Excuse me, we,
Okay, let's just go.
Yeah,
keep going?
yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Can I ask them to?
Yeah.
We ask that you quietly exit the room for us, please.
Please exit into the foyer. Further comments?
Rick is going to,
You got a gavel.
oh.
Really? Gotta use it.
We ask that you quietly exit this room, please. You can go into the foyer. Thank you. Thought I had it.
I think it's the first time you used it. How's it feel? I was just going to throw it at him.
Yes.
All right, it's good.
All right. You close the door.
Let's roll it.
All right.
Go ahead. We can hear it.
David, make the motion.
The Chair entertains a
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-39 be taken up for a public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
so move.
Second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on ordinance number 2022-39? No one? Chair entertains a motion that the public hearing on ordinance number 2022-39 be closed.
So move.
I second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli? Yes. Dr. Arthur?
Yes. Ordinance number 2022-39 be taken up for second and final reading and adopted according to law.
I second.
Is there any discussion by council on this ordinance? None?
All right, now, I'm sorry. Now they're being,
That's all?
No.
Okay. Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
Number 2022-39, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland emergency medical technician part-time, senior emergency medical technician, with a vote of 4 yeas. This ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2022-39 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes.
Thank you.
I present ordinance number 2022-40, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland fire official, which is ready for a public hearing.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-40 be taken up for a public hearing and open to the public for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on ordinance number 2022-40 at this time? No one? Chair entertains a motion that the public hearing on ordinance number 2022-40 be closed.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes. Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-40 be taken up for second and final reading and adopted according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion by council on this ordinance? No one?
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-40, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland fire official. With a vote of 4 yeas, this ordinance is hereby adopted.
Mr. Franchetta, please submit ordinance number 2022-40 to the mayor for his approval or disapproval.
Yes.
Thank you.
I present ordinance number 2022-41, which is ready for a first reading.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-41 be taken up for the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-41, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Director of Municipal Utility.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-41 be passed for first reading and that a public hearing be held on Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion by council on this motion? None?
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
I present ordinance number 2022-42, which is ready for a first reading.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-42 be taken up for the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-42, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance number 8, which established the classification and compensation plans for the City of Vineland Animal Control Officer part-time.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-42 be passed for the first reading and that a public hearing be held on Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion by council on this motion? None?
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
I present ordinance number 2022-43, which is ready for a first reading.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-43 be taken up for the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-43, ordinance designating certain areas of municipal buildings restricted to public access for privacy and security purposes.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-43 be passed for first reading and that a public hearing be held on Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion by council on this ordinance? None?
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
I present ordinance number 2022-44, which is ready for a first reading.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-44 be taken up for the first reading.
So moved.
I second.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-44. Ordinance amending Ordinance 86-38 as amended, Chapter 425 of the Code of the City of Vineland, entitled Land Use, so as to rezone Block 7503, Lot 1.1, part of Lot 6.01, Lot 47, and Lot 48.01 to IB Industrial Business and adopt a zone map change.
Chair entertains a motion that ordinance number 2022-44 be passed for first reading and that a public hearing be held on Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m.
So moved.
I second.
Is there any discussion by council on this motion?
Yeah, I'd like to thank our planning and solicitor's office and everybody else in the city who worked to try to get this amended and changed to try to help out the citizens in that area.
Ditto.
Here, here.
Councilman Acosta.
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini.
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli.
Yes.
And Dr. Arthur.
Yes.
Following items will be considered on the consent agenda. Resolution number 2022-173, a resolution approving agreement with the International Association of Emergency Medical Technicians and Paramedics, Local R2-75, from January 1, 2022 through December 31, 2025. Resolution number 2022-174, resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Damon Marks LLC and Ultra Artist LLC to provide a summer concert at Petro Park. Resolution number 2022-175, a resolution authorizing the exclusion of the public from a meeting between the mayor, city council, city clerk and staff, business administrator and staff, city solicitor and staff, and the law firm of Testa, Heck, Testa, and White, PA, concerning matters relating to litigation in which the public body is or may become a party, and matters falling under the attorney-client privilege, and authorizing the disclosure of minutes of said meeting as provided herein. Resolution number 2022-176, a resolution authorizing the issuance of an amendatory supplemental change order number 2 to contract number C22-0072, issued to Arthur R. Henry Incorporated, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, in the amount of $111,558.02. Resolution number 2022-177. A resolution authorizing the purchase of motor vehicles from Mall Chevrolet Incorporated, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, in an aggregate amount not to exceed $308,055 even, pursuant to a regional cooperative pricing agreement with Middlesex Regional Educational Services Commission, MRESC Cooperative Pricing System. Resolution number 2022-178. A resolution authorizing the purchase of 3 new equipment lifts for vehicle maintenance from Snap-on Industrial, Crystal Lake, Illinois, in a total amount of $76,454.68, pursuant to a national cooperative contract agreement with Sourcewell Contract 013020-SNP. Resolution number 2022-179. A resolution authorizing the purchase of 1 Genie GTH-844 high-reach telehandler from Eastern Lift Truck Company, Incorporated, Maple Shade, New Jersey, in a total amount of $146,367 even, pursuant to a national cooperative contract agreement with Sourcewell Contract 041719-TER. Resolution number 2022-180. A resolution approving Vineland revolving loan funds for Sweet Home Real Estate LLC or assigns. Resolution number 2022-181. A resolution approving Vineland revolving loan funds for Worldwide Real Estate Associates LLC or assigns. Resolution number 2022-182. A resolution approving Vineland revolving loan funds for Beckerman, Hollander, Cohen Real Estate Company to be formed or assigns. Resolution number 2022-183. A resolution approving surety reduction, release, or renewal as submitted by the city engineer. Resolution number 2022-184. A resolution approving charge against various land for land clearance and authorizing said charge to become a lien upon such land and to be added to and become a part of the taxes to be assessed and levied upon such land. Resolution 2022-185, a resolution providing and authorizing the payment of bills and demands against the city of Vineland. Resolution number 2022-186, a resolution appointing Brian Murray Sr. to the position of fire official within the Vineland Fire Department, Bureau of Fire Prevention. Resolution number 2022-187, a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement by and between the Southern New Jersey Perinatal Cooperative, Pennsauken, New Jersey, in the city of Vineland for COVID-19 vaccination and booster capacity. Resolution number 2022-188. Resolution amending Resolution number 2022-15, granting the issuance of a new alcoholic beverage plenary retail consumption license 0614-33-015-008 upon failure to timely renew pursuant to NJSA 33:1-12.18 for the 2021-2022 license term. I have a motion to refer and request to the Planning Board to consider rezoning Lot 7503, lots 1.01, part of Lot 6.01, lots 47, and lots 48.01 to IB Industrial Business and request findings of facts and recommendations thereto.
Chair entertains a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion by council on this motion? None?
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Franceschini?
Yes.
Councilman Spinelli?
Yes.
Dr. Arthur?
Yes. Are there any comments from council members at this time?
Yes. Just that I'm extremely proud of our city employers, our solicitor, who he's probably going to charge us for overtime for all the work he's been doing lately. And with the collaboration. Extra. With the collaboration of other attorneys and our concerned residents, it's good to see that collaboration, compromise, because, you know, at the end of the day, we all live in the same town. And so we have to make sure that everybody's comfortable as we move forward. We have to move forward. We can't move back. So it was very nice to see. Secondly, I'd like to just thank our flag salute from Winslow. They did a great job. And that's all I have.
Councilman Acosta?
It was a pleasure to see this room almost filled to the max. The citizens expressing their positions, an issue of interest. It would be nice to see that a lot more often, because that's one way that the citizens can express to us what's on their mind. And that is greatly appreciated. And again, like my colleague there, the hard work that went to create a compromise where maybe not everybody's as happy as they want to be, but it's a lot better than it was last week.
That's it. Councilman Spinelli?
Reiterate it, and also in that consideration, we had a ton of citizens, which we do like to see, express their opinions. So we know we're going in the right direction and attempting to resolve whatever we can. But also thank Mr. Ruga and his group of people for cooperating as well and realizing there's an issue there and trying to come up with a compromise to consider them, because he has a ton of money invested in that property. And we understand we have to move forward, but we also understand we have to respect the lifestyle that people have. So thank you, all people involved.
I too would like to just say thank you to everyone involved. The team of people that it takes to put something like this together can be somewhat overwhelming, but to understand that the process is always to look at continuous process improvements. I think that's what we did here tonight. And taking all of that into consideration, it was good to see the room full, in spite of what, the objectors had to say, but hopefully we'll come to a conclusion that's a win-win situation as we move forward. Also, thank you to the Winslow students that came, the principal and the Safety Patrol director. It's always good to see the kids.
Doc, before you close, Mr. Tenetta, I'll be handing you a bill for bothering me during my work time. Louisville Public Schools does not appreciate that.
That's not called work, though.
Yes, it is. That lawyer's work isn't called work. That's right, billable hours.
Minutes.
It's good to walk away too, thinking that, you know, the process works. We give the opportunity
Washington ought to take a picture.
to hear what the residents have to say, so they have some recourse in this process.
Actually, now, hopefully he's watching. I'd actually like to thank the mayor. And if he's not watching,
Don't give
good.
the guy a stroke.
No. Yeah, he's going to have a stroke. I said that. Oh, yeah.
Thank you to everyone. And is there anything else? If nothing further, we will close the regular session and move into closed session at this time, in the next room.